Hello, family and friends. I'm LaKeisha D. Howard, and I am running as an independent candidate for the Texas House District 124. I am a servant leader in our community who believes in the voices being heard. I am a retired Air Force veteran, as well as a retiree from the Department of Veteran Affairs. For me, this is not about politics and party. This is about our community voice being heard. We can only do that as one. And that's why I have elected to run as an independent versus being tied to a particular party. I am tied to our community, each and every one of you. I want to show transparency and accountability. I want our voices to be heard at our state capitol. I want us to show love and action because that's what brings community together. So vote for me in November 2026 as your independent state representative for District 124. I'm LaKeisha Howard. I love each and every one of you, and I cannot wait to hear your voice.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're viewing from. I'm Laura Thompson with TAAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with the global reach. And you tune into the coffee break, and guess who I ran into just a few minutes ago? I was kind of minding my own business, and up walks LaKeisha D. Howard, the Honorable LaKeisha D. Howard. I'm gonna start now. So, how you doing, LaKeisha?
I am absolutely wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing good. So it's tradition that before we get started with the conversation, I always ask my guests to give a little biographical information about themselves, like who you are, what you do, why you do it, all that good stuff.
Okay. So I'm LaKeisha D. Howard. I am a retired United States Air Force veteran, also a retired employee of the Department of Veteran Affairs here in San Antonio, Texas. I am an entrepreneur, owner of a nonprofit, as well as a wife of nearly 30 years, a mother, a nana, a sister, a aunt, and a daughter, cousin too.
Wow. So you got a lot of things that have happened in your life, and a lot of things that are going to happen or in the process of happening. So tell us a little bit about your service in the military.
So I served in, again, United States Air Force, where I carried many different hats. My favorite hat while in the Air Force was the Air Force recruiter in Detroit, Michigan, which is my hometown. Had the opportunity to give other young people like myself an opportunity to get away from Detroit and see other avenues of life. So that was my favorite job in the Air Force. I also was administration. I worked in the protocol office. So a lot of different hats, a lot of different experiences with the United States Air Force. Traveled the globe,
Wow.
all over Europe, from Italy to Germany to Africa to France to England. So you name it, anywhere over in Europe, I went. Never got to the Pacific, to Japan or Korea, but spent majority of my time in Europe.
So then if that wasn't enough, she retired for a little bit, and then what did you do after that?
So after I retired from the Air Force, I became an entrepreneur immediately. I became a real estate agent and then later became a broker. So I am also a real estate broker. And then I decided, okay, I need a 9 to 5. I'm used to being around a lot of people all the time. So I took a job at the Department of Veteran Affairs over at Audie Murphy
Wow.
VA Hospital. I started out as a secretary, and
And they couldn't hold her there.
I couldn't hold it in. I couldn't, I thought, you know what? My kids are young. I'm going to be a stay at home mom. Hands down, I give it to the stay at home moms, but I needed to get out there and be around other people than the little ones. So I started back working and chose to work at the VA. And I could not ask for a better place to work in and carry my career on. There at the VA, I was a health coach. I was a customer experience trainer. I was the concierge service manager, whereas I managed the frontliners, greeters of the hospital, ambassadors, our valet drivers. I went from that to being a volunteer service specialist, where I onboarded volunteers to the VA and managed the volunteers and different special programs at Audie Murphy. I was overseer for the My Life and My Story, where we recorded veteran stories and took those
Wow.
stories and put them
Wow.
into their medical records so that their providing team can get to know the veteran on a more personal level than just their medical history. And then I became my favorite of all, I became the Office of Patient Advocacy Supervisor. So I was the one who oversaw our patient advocates. And man, that was that to retire at that position said a lot. But to be able to be that voice for my brothers and sisters in arms who needed a voice to advocate on their behalf, and even some of our employees I advocated on their behalf as well, was a great way to, retire from the VA as well.
Wow. So she's a double retiree, but it doesn't stop there.
Still
It doesn't stop there. So you have a nonprofit that that's a service organization as well too. So tell us a little bit about that.
So we actually have two nonprofits, Pearls for Destiny, that caters to young ladies 12 to 25, teaching them life skills, preparing them for college and in life, right? We do mission trips. We went to Haiti on a mission trip. And then we have Mothering the Mother and Motherless, which we will be doing a fundraiser for on this upcoming Saturday. And what we do with Mothering the Mother and Motherless is we give that nurturing touch to any age, male, female. We come in and we assist with nurturing. May it be rental assistance, may it be
Wow.
life skills, may it be career planning, may it be in the life planning, because a lot of people don't know the importance of planning their in the life stage. May it be that constant contact with a person who is going through the process of end of life. Anything that has a mothering nurture touch is what we do for our client. So that's something else we do, along
Wow.
with everything else. I try to make sure that anything that I can do to help a person get to the next level, I have it under my belt. And if I
Wow.
don't have it under my belt, I know someone who does, so that we can cater to that individual and they can never say that no one was there to help them be better.
Wow. So, and she articulates it well. A lot of people, or some people, do a lot of things, but they can't really articulate the message where people understand exactly what they do in all of the different areas, but you do. And so that's a phenomenal trait, and you're doing great, great works in the community. You're on this like high level administrative kind of corporate CEO level, and you have been doing this. This is something that's ingrained in you to provide services for and educate people on how to do better and how to improve their lives. So that's super phenomenal. So there's another there's another level, another layer of LaKeisha. She's going to be embarking on a new venture, but the service is still going to be the same because she's always been ingrained in service. So, can you tell us a little bit about your next venture?
So, after much prayer, and I have to say that, I have to say, after much prayer, and talking with my husband and my dad, I have decided to run for the Texas House of Representatives for District 124. And I say this with a smile, because about 10 years ago, a good friend of mine, Benjamin Green, said, "You should run for office." And I said, "Nah, I don't have time for that. No, I'm not into the politics. That's not me." And here I am today running for a office that says a lot about politics. But in my case, I'm running as an independent. I'm running for the voice of my community, not the politics of the community or the state or the world, but the voice of the people in my community. And I'm hoping, because I'm running as an independent, that this will be so impactful that others will have the courage to stand up and run as independents as well. So that's why, I'm taking this new journey to become the Texas House of Representatives District 124 candidate.
Wow. So that's phenomenal. So you're running as an independent. So for our viewing audience, what does that mean? What is the difference between running as a Democrat or a Republican?
I'm glad you asked that question.
Mm.
So the difference is, the biggest difference is that we're not tied to a particular party, okay? We're not tied, as an independent, I'm not tied to the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. Now, there may be some things that both parties may be doing that I may have the slightest agreement with, but as the one in the middle of the entire situation, there may be something that I can say that's completely different to change the thought process to cater more to the individuals of our community versus the political party. So often what I've seen, and I'm not a politician, okay, let's make sure we understand, I'm really not a politician. I'm a human being who love people, and I know people. So what I've seen is a lot of our voices are not heard. A lot of the parties, the representatives of those parties go along with the party because it's the majority. I don't want to do that. I want the majority to be my community. I want the majority to be the voices of my community. What is going to help my community? And that's the difference for me. As an independent, I'm able to take a stronger stance, and even if that means I'm on the sea by myself, I'm okay with that.
Right.
Because I know for a fact, if I'm by myself, I know I have my community, but most importantly, I'm doing what God ordained for me to do. So it's okay. It may be a little lonely, but that's okay, as long as I know my community is being taken care of.
Wow.
And I'm there for them.
And you have your own caucus too. It's like, it's just you.
Yes, yes. And I looked at this when I first said, okay, I'm going to move forward with this. And I did my research, and I said, well, what are my chances of winning in a general election as an independent? And I said, well, ChatGPT, what are my chances? And ChatGPT and others said, because of the passion that I have for community, I have a strong chance. And my experiences that I've had throughout my life have paved the way. And God has already lit a blaze to the trailway for me to follow. So I said, well, Lord, you've already set the way. Bring the resources, bring the people, and let's make it happen. So
Wow.
here I am, running as the Texas House of Representative candidate for District 124 as an independent.
Wow. So are the rules a little bit different if you're running as an independent? Do you have to follow specific guidelines, or you just sign up as an independent?
I'm glad you asked that question because the rules are definitely different. As an independent, my name cannot get on a ballot for November 2026 election, unless I first have 500 names of individuals who did not vote in a primary, which is March 2026. Those 500 names cannot have voted again in the primary. They have to be from District 124. I have to have a petition signed by 500 individuals, again, that have not voted in a primary, March 2026. And then those 500 signatures, names and signatures, addresses, will be sent to the Secretary of State to verify, to make sure those individuals have not voted in the primaries. My goal is to get 1,000 signatures. And the reason being, things happen, right? Somebody may have signed for whatever reason, thinking they're helping, or they may not have understood the ramifications of what we needed. Therefore, we'll have additional signatures on our petition to make sure that my name is on the ballot for the general election, November 2026. And then we can go from there. Now, as an independent, because I don't have a party backing me, it requires a different way of doing things, not just the petition, but also fundraising, donations. Those are different because I don't have a party backing me. So when we talk to individuals, we want them to know that we're very serious about representing our community. We're very serious about changing the trajectory because we know for Texas, we haven't had an independent win in a general election in over 50-something years. His name was Howard Green. But we had an independent win in a special election 2016.
Right. That also got on the ballot.
That got on the ballot.
And was the only independent in Texas that got on the ballot at that time.
Yes. And that is our very own Laura Thompson. And I'm thankful I'm friends with her because this is great. I'm sitting in the presence, of greatness. So we want to make that impact for this 2026, not just be on the ballot, but we want to win the election as an independent. And I also want to make sure that this is understood as well. We're running as an independent. Lord willing, we will win as an independent, and we will continue to operate as an independent. There's no swaying back and forth. We're independent, and we will carry the voice. Everything that we do will be in the name of our community and the voices of our community. I would not do anything without first, consulting District 124, because that's where I feel is our priority
Wow.
for me as an independent candidate.
And the beauty of you running now, and when I ran, it was straight ticket, and so it was difficult because the parties are strong, and they had more funding and more visibility. It was easier for them to win, although I was able to amass almost 10,000 votes
Mm-hmm.
with the straight ticket. And so, you know, now it's not straight ticket. So you have a great opportunity and a better opportunity
Yes, ma'am.
to take it.
Yes, ma'am. But you paved the way for me to prayerfully win this election. It's going to require a lot of work. And so far, I have a strong team. I have a strong team of volunteers who have captured my heart. You know, because you can't have your team is just as strong
The team
as
is
you
just
are.
your spokesperson when you can't be there.
You know,
Yeah.
they're in rooms that you may not be in, but because they have captured your heart, it's as if you were there. You know, I was 3 weeks ago. The last 3 weeks, I had been at the VA Blind Rehabilitation Center, and there was an event that some of my team members were at. Well, guess what? Even though I wasn't physically there, you would have thought my presence was right in that room with them, you know, and that's important to me. So I have a strong team of volunteers. We're always accepting more volunteers. You can visit our website, and we'll get that information to you momentarily. We're also, you know, going to be doing different events, meetups in the community. Our first one is going to be December the 13th,
Okay.
where we're going to have two special guests. Papa and Nana Claus is going to be there,
Oh, okay.
and it'll be a resource fair also, a town hall. It's going to be all inclusive, right there in the heart of our community, right in the heart of our District 124. So there's going to be different things that are coming up for our community to get to know me, to get to know our team, to get to know that we are truly about this. We are real, we're transparent, we don't sugarcoat, we love. Our motto is love in action. And we truly demonstrate what it means to say love in action. And we give in the sustainability behind it as well. Because you can love somebody through something, but if you don't give them sustainability, it's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
You know, we
If
want,
they're hungry and you don't feed them,
yeah,
you still haven't really done anything
exactly.
but talk, right?
You got to talk the talk and walk the walk. And that's what we want to do for our community.
Wow.
So
So
that's the new journey.
hey, wow. So she's gone from serving in the U.S. military to serving at the Department of Veterans Affairs, entrepreneurship. She's a real estate broker and a real estate agent. And now she's getting ready to embark upon a major step up to the Texas House of Representatives, District 124 rep.
Yes.
That's the plan, as an independent.
As an
Is-
independent.
So my last question is, you know, what's your platform? What are you planning to provide for the people in District 124?
Well, I'm glad you asked that as well. So some of the things, and I'm not going to give you all because I want you to go to our website. But some of the things that we're going to be looking at is, of course, our trailblazers, our seniors, you know, our veterans. You know, freedom walks the streets of America because of our veterans and our active duty, military. So those two are near and dear to my heart. My whole family, just about our military. Myself, Air Force, my husband, Army, my son, Army, my daughter, Navy, my dad, Army, my son, he's still active duty Air Force, my youngest son. So we want to make sure that we embark on our military. We also want to make sure that we're looking at our mental health and our unhoused individuals. How can we combat unhoused? How can we find shelter for those individuals, and why are they unhoused? We also want to look at our safety. Unfortunately, there's every time you turn on the news, there's something happening in the district where someone has been unalived. So we want to try and see how we can come together as neighborhoods for safety with our law enforcement agencies in the community. We also want to make sure, again, transparency is everything. How are we listening to the voices of our community? We also want to focus on our youth. They're our future, right? I never really knew what that meant until my children got to the age that they're in. My oldest is 32 and my youngest is 25. They're our future. They're standing on our shoulders. So we need to make sure that we're giving them the proper tools and resources and education to get to where they need to be in life and not end up in prison, because there's a high prison rate in our community as well. So there's a high dropout rate in our community. So we want to counteract that. What can we bring to the community to help our youth? Create more youth programs, create youth to entrepreneurship as well. So we want to look at e-commerce, our economic development, our businesses, our mom and pop shops that's in the community. What do they need to sustain them, to keep their doors open? Because those doors being open not only help their households, but they also help the community, come together. So we're going to be looking at things like that as well in the community. We're going to be looking at the different abandoned houses or foreclosure rate to tenant evictions. What is the cause of tenant evictions? Is it education? As far as tenant-landlord relationship, what can we do to reduce the number of evictions that are taking place in the community? So, education and growth, are some of the things that we're going to be looking at. But in order for us to truly look at those things, we have to hear the voice of our community.
All right. Well, you've been tuned into the Coffee Break on TAAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with a global reach. And we've been here with the phenomenal LD, which is LaKeisha D. Howard. She's a candidate for District 124 State Representative. And you can check her out and find out more about her platform on www.ldhowardfortexas.com. Or you can also check her out on Facebook. She'll be probably spreading to other social media platforms. But right now, check out her website and check out her Facebook page and interact with her. Ask her questions. She's always available to give you a response. So thank you for tuning in, and LaKeisha, thank you for taking the time out your busy schedule to hang out with me on the Coffee Break.
I love you. I love you as well.
Love in action.
Most people aren't concerned about hair loss until it affects them or someone they know. But we care.
Hi, I'm Kayla Martell. If you're a woman with hair loss or thinning hair, like me, please listen carefully if hair loss is a common problem for many women who don't know where to turn for viable solutions. Until now. To learn more about the newest professional solutions for your hair loss, It will change your life.
Contact the professionals of Trinity Lace Wigs, changing lives one head at a time.
Hello, family and friends. I'm LaKeisha D. Howard, and I am running as an independent candidate for the Texas House District 124. I am a servant leader in our community who believes in the voices being heard. I am a retired Air Force veteran, as well as a retiree from the Department of Veteran Affairs. For me, this is not about politics and party. This is about our community voice being heard. We can only do that as one. And that's why I have elected to run as an independent versus being tied to a particular party. I am tied to our community, each and every one of you. I want to show transparency and accountability. I want our voices to be heard at our state capitol. I want us to show love and action because that's what brings community together. So vote for me in November 2026 as your independent state representative for District 124. I'm LaKeisha Howard. I love each and every one of you, and I cannot wait to hear your voice.